Welcome back, YouTube, to Underground. So, in one of my previous videos, I was talking about I was looking at new ATVs and considering getting one, and I was contemplating at buying the new Can-Ams, but it's an old Honda here. But after doing a lot of research, I noticed that within the first year of the new Can-Am Outlanders, both pro and non-pro models, the 500 and 700, the 650cc, there were quite a few issues, and I might mention those in this video. I posted some comments on the unveiling of the 2025 Can-Am Outlander 850 and 1000. They just released on the 20th or 19th of this month, August. Anyways, I posted on there some comments. I guess it was Can-Am sponsored videos about all the known issues with the new chassis and the new machines, and that's about where Can-Am cuts corners in their costs. Not knocking on Rotax. I'm not saying Rotax is bad. Rotax is fine, but the rest of the machine, there's some issues. So I got me a new machine, and I'll give you a few moments to guess what I got. You think I went with Can-Am? Do you think I went with Yamaha? Do you think I went with Honda? Do you think I went with Polaris or CF Moto or whatever other brands that's out there? Or Suzuki? I'll give you a few minutes to consider. But, so I got me a new one. And it's a 2025. And I want to talk about some things and elaborate on why I made the decision I made. So, we'll get to that. So, what do you think I got? What do you think I should have got? And we'll talk about some things like break-in periods, what the owner manuals say, and things like that, and commonly held views and different views about what is the proper way to break in a machine, or whether you even need to break it in. So we'll talk about that, and we'll speculate some things and so on about that. So stay tuned, and I will show you my new machine. As you can see, I went with the old, reliable, well-established, time-tested and proven Honda Rancher 420 four-wheel drive foot shift. I've got the owner's manual and what it comes with here: tire pressure gauge, warranty 2025, owner's manual 2025, and how much I paid for the machine, and we'll go over that here in just a minute. But just so you know, it is a 2025. There's nothing known to be different than the previous models. One of the reasons I got a 2025 is they happened to have it in, and they weren't asking a lot for it. So, for obvious reasons. And it's in good shape. If you notice that some of these machines right here, after they've been sitting a while, it'll have surface rust on it. Not a real big deal, but I may paint these black and do it the right way with the right kind of industrial paint and stuff. Obviously, a lot of people don't like these tires because of the ply rating, and they don't have real strong sidewalls, and I understand that. I like the tires personally. I think it's better for the machine overall to have the same weight tire and probably the same size for long-term reliability. I'm not a mudder. I don't ride in the mud like that. I don't ride hard either. Something I didn't notice that the 420s had, I was surprised, was this white splash guard. I didn't notice that they had that before, but that's fine. I was looking at a few things, but one of the things I want to point out is people talk about the break-in period, okay? There's nothing obviously presented to you about how to properly break in your machine. So I looked in the owner's manual. If it would be anywhere, it would be there. It's not known to be in the warranty pamphlet they give you here. The longest one, a year, than all the other manufacturers, to my knowledge. But I looked through it, and on page 260, the break-in guidelines, this is exactly what it reads. Help assure your ATV's future reliability and performance by paying extra attention to how you ride during the first operating day or 15 miles. During this period, avoid full throttle starts, rapid acceleration, and constant RPM operation. And I looked in the towing aspect. You know, some people say you don't want to put underload. It doesn't say that. It says the first 15 miles. That's it. And you just seen what it said. That's all that I found in here. If there's anything else, I'll update you on that. But I read through it, looked through it, trying to find it. You know, I know there's, you got to let the gears mesh together. Need to let everything properly see it and stuff. And I've said that before. But in the owner's manual, that's what it says. Now, the reason I emphasize what it says in here is, you know, you would think if it was much more critical than that, it would be in there because of the warranty, long-term reliability, accountability on Honda's part, having to replace stuff because they didn't tell you, hey, you know, you need to do this initially or you prematurely cause the engine to fail. Look at all these warning labels. That's legal reasons. They're obligated to do that by law. And so on. They put all this stuff on here. They even include safety guides. There's an obligation that they have. You would think what would cost them money, such as replacing engine components because it failed before it should have, and so on, it would be included, or it'd be mentioned, you know. So that'd be my take on it. It doesn't say the first 100 miles. It says the first 15. See, when they first build these machines, they start them up and they run them and they put them on a dyno. So the engine is pretty much ready for normal operation from the factory. You don't need to take it easy the first 600 miles, or else I believe it would sit in there, sitting there. Do I recommend running it with full throttle? No, it says not to do that. You know, but it also says inspect the valves at the first service, which is 100 miles or 20 hours, or even 1 month, I think. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that from the factory they have a special type of break-in oil that they put in it. Honda specific specifications. Not 100% sure on that, but I've heard that and read that, and it would make sense. So, you know, I think they advise people not to change the first oil until it's due for oil change. So, people do what they want, but anyway, so this is the machine I decided to go with. It's proven. I looked at the welds and stuff on the Can-Ams and the thickness of this metal and the thickness of the metal on the Can-Ams. I wasn't impressed. Usually this metal and this metal is not as thick as your main frame and heavy duty. You can tell that Can-Am from the part from here to the bumper, this like sub mount is thinner metal. There's a guy has a channel called Mud Puppy. He does he took off some plastic stuff and he uncovered the new $12,000 XMR Can-Am 700 he bought, and he went over some things. I mean, there was a bolt hanging that far out, the crankcase, brand new. He showed the welds and some other things. You can check out his video. Also, after he owned the machine for a while, the motor mounts broke and the engine was literally doing like this. And you can also watch that video. Also, other issues with the new ones that I found out on the new Can-Ams was there's some hoses in here on the machine. I forgot what it's for. Now, they done some good things good for like ease of maintenance and convenience. They thought about that. And they got your snorkels right here, and it's easy access. But what good's your snorkels up here if they're not sealed down there? They're loose hoses. I mean, the belt, it's got a drain plug, the CVT. But if it's not sealed, water still gets in there. Another YouTuber who bought one of the machines got in water there. It leaked inside. So, that's one of the issues with Can-Ams. The Rotax engines, I believe, are pretty good. I've done some research on them. And I'm not just referring to the aircraft engines. But, the engine's important, obviously. Transmission's important, obviously. But the overall machine for ATV, a good, solid machine. The bumper on the Can-Am's pretty good. But the subframing that mounts it to the actual frame is kind of thin. Now, this metal here is pretty solid. It'll do what it's supposed to do. But, so, I looked at it and stuff. I just couldn't dump all that money in. I could have they had the Can-Am HD5 Pro for $69 before sales tax and all the documentation fees and what have you. This machine was on sale 2025 for $72. And this machine has been out basically since 2014. 11 years. It may be the same thing, but the thing is, it's time tested and proven to be reliable. There's been hundreds of thousands of miles put on these machines between different customers, but we know where the issues are. The front wheel bearings may go bad after a while. Putting heavier tires and rims on them may cause them to prematurely wear. But if you leave the stock ones on, or at least try to find one that's the same weight and size. That's what I was looking at. They are kind of, have a roll type effect because they don't have real stable sidewalls. But I mean, this says to me this is a stable, reliable, solid machine. I'm going to show you what I paid out the door. Okay? Without giving you too much information. Unit dealer price $72.49. Labor $100. There's another $100 here because I had them delivered for $100. See, sales tax, title registration, documentation fee, $79.83. So you see, I only paid a total out the door price of $79.83. which isn't bad for 2025. I think the date of manufacture, when it came off the assembly line, was 7/24. So it wasn't very long ago. But let me also get in here. And also in the owner's manual, let me get to the, it's right around here somewhere. Schedule maintenance. Let me try to find it here. Wherever it is. It's in the back, maybe. It's in here somewhere. What I'm trying to get at is the servicing. Some people want to change out the diff fluids. Well, as you'll see here, the differential every 2 years. Of course, you can do it after the first 600 miles too, I suppose. But you know, if you look, it has C for clean, I for inspection, clean, just, lubricate, replace. R is replace. So yeah. So this is what the owner's manual says, and I'm pretty sure that Honda knows what they're doing. If that's what's in here, that's most likely what you should do. But I also wanted to show, which you may be aware of this, and I don't know that anything's changed. I mean, it's very easy to get this seat off, but you know, all the ease of access. But what I wanted to pull off here was how much room you have in here. And you can, I believe you can move this partition to allow more access. Maybe if you want to try to put a different battery in it, or a larger battery. I'm going to see about the battery here, because that's not the battery I thought, but I'm going to take a look at that. But as you can see, again, it's nothing new. But you know, it's a new machine, but it's not all new design. Usually all machines that are all new, it takes a few years to work out some issues. That's why, one of the reasons why I didn't option to go with Can-Am. It's a brand new platform, brand new machine. It's only been out a year. And some of the issues of breaking motor mounts and bolts hanging off the crankcase. That just... Give me just a minute. There we go. But anyways, I'm gonna start it up here for you. Let it run for a minute. I still need to take these tags off there. I had it a few days. I haven't really rode it. And then turn the lights off. But yeah, I guess they're so used to putting 2024s on there, they put 2024, but it's a 2025. even the, I don't know, but yeah, so that's what I decided to get. Also, I wanted to point out, some people option to put the recoil starter. Some people option to put the recoil starter, but I was doing some more research in it, and they come standard in Canada with them on it. And right here's even a place for you to put it. But over time, water and mud can get in to a seal in there. It's between the recoil starter and the engine. And water and mud can get in there, and it will sit. And over time, it will eat at that seal. And then oil will leak out. So, and you don't want any oil and mud and stuff to get inside your engine or in that area. And require you to take that out, clean everything thoroughly, replace it, take the oil out, obviously drain the oil, but then to replace it. But you need to use like a silicone or Honda Bond to seal the recoil cover. And I've seen where people would think they put like marine grade grease on the pull rope string, and a seal over where it pulls out and it seals to the cover. And only break that seal and use it when you have to use it for emergency, because for most people that's the only reason you're going to need to pull start, and it's an emergency, to avoid, if you're going to put the recoil on it, to avoid getting mud and sand in it, especially if you drove through mud and sand regularly. I think shakes a little bit. But it just recommends that you use unleaded, so you can use 91, 86 or higher it says. So, yeah, I was just letting it run. So this is the machine I decided to go with. Again, it's been out for a while, but I know what I'm getting when I'm paying that kind of money. I got a machine over there. It's a Honda that's 28 years old. It runs just fine. Now, I tuned it up. It's nearly 30 years old. But I didn't have to do an engine rebuild. It's the same motor. But, that's a long time. But I got the electric start working on it. Where I replaced the wiring harness, I just replaced the wiring harness. There was no known issues with the old one. I just replaced it. I put a new carburetor in it, new relay, new fuses, new neutral light switch sensor, reverse switch sensor, not the oil temp sensor, because I was trying to find out why my neutral light wasn't coming on, and it was because of this little black piece right here. You have to have that in there to complete the circuit, apparently. But yes, it works just fine. Actually, I don't have the battery hooked up, but should kickstart right over. The compression valve. Choke on, but I just want to show you, that's why I like Honda. I have no reason to believe that this machine won't last as long as that one, as long as I take care of it. It has, out of the models they currently make, only probably the T1 two-wheel drive would be longer, or last longer in the long run, because less electronics, and it doesn't have a front differential. But yeah, the engines should last. You should get 50,000 miles and more out of the motor. It's a lot on an ATV. Most I ever seen on a Honda I know of was a 2000 Foreman that had 181,000 kilometers. That's like 112,000 miles. So these engines can do it. The rest of the machine, you know, shocks and tie rod ends, anything that can wear over 20 some years can need replacing. But the engine itself, no rebuild. Yeah, that one's never been rebuilt. Of course, you can't tell how many miles is on that one. But yeah, so that's what I decided to go with. Something that's, that's been proven, time tested. I like it. It's a new one for me. It's a little bit bigger. I think the width of the wheelbase, wheelbase is about the same. Obviously, the fenders are much larger. Of course, that one don't even have fenders on it right now. Of course, there's nothing wrong with it. I just got them off for working on it. I still want to do the front brake pads, not disc brakes, but drum brakes. But yeah, I don't know how much fuel. I think it's got a full tank of gas in it. So, I'm still waiting for the registration stickers, like with that one over there. I gotta get. They said it'd be about 3 weeks before they come in, so I'm still waiting on that. But yeah, so that'll probably conclude it for this video. That's what I optioned for, what I'd rather have. It's comfortable for me. Yeah, I'm used to riding stuff that uncomfortable. It's pretty uncomfortable in southern West Virginia. By comparison, after a day of riding, you'll feel it. But things I plan to do, first I'm gonna get me a cover. There's a brand called Tough Cover. For about $60. That seems to be a good idea since I don't have a carport, garage, or shed. It's stored out here. I thought about a recoil at first, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. I thought about putting a better battery in it, but at the same time, if you don't put the correct type of battery, say you try to buy a heavier duty battery for shrink hole, like a Odyssey Extreme 12 volt battery that you can put in a ATV or UTV. The thing you want to be aware of is, can your stator hold it? Is it going to overwork your stator? Another thing, I looked at a battery maintainer, and there's a brand called Optimate. I looked at them. Battery Tender, the brand. But it's better to take the battery out in the cold winter, like 32 and below, and just take it inside and charge it where it's room temperature. It's not hard to do. The oil, after the first engine oil, I believe I'm going to put Amsoil in it, and I'm going to need OW30 if it gets down, starts getting below 32 degrees, 20 degrees and below in the teens, and stays that way. I should probably put OW30. Again, I gotta check the rating for Amsoil's OW30, fully synthetic. But I mean, Honda has fully synthetic OW30 too, so HP4. But Amsoil may be a better oil overall. But heated grips, I consider getting heated grips from Honda. A winch, I've considered. It's just not cheap for the proper winch mount and stuff from Honda, which is what I'd prefer to do. I like their winch mounting kit better. And but Warren winches, you know, maybe a Warren winch, but let's see what else. There's these hen mittens, mittens, hippo hands. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, hippo hands. They look like they'd be good with a combination of heated grips. I've considered a windshield, but I don't know. This is for the winter, not summer. Might just get me a snowmobile helmet, and that might be just fine. Tires, like I said, I don't want real heavy tires. Don't really think I want bigger tires. I don't know yet. There's a few tires I've looked at. I looked at ATV Mud Lights. I've looked at Sedona tires, Ridgestyle tires. They're like an 8-ply, like an all-terrain, kind of similar to a truck tire. I don't know yet. These tires got plenty of tread. They're just the sidewall. I just wish they had like a 6-ply sidewall. Skid plates, I'm not too worried about skid plates now. It's not like a top priority. The only thing right now is the cover. I think I'm going to get another cover for that. When I bought a cheap one off Amazon, it only lasted like a year. Wasn't really much count. Boxes, I don't know. Probably get me like a roto pack or some kind of gas can. So if I go for a long ride, I'll have extra fuel. I don't know what kind of fuel range I'll get out of this machine. But I'm going to try to get it out on a trail soon after I get the actual tags or the registration. And then I'll have to put a plate on here somewhere. In Wisconsin, you have to. So, yeah, I don't seek to add too much to it. But I will probably try to find a similar tire, just like a 6-ply tire. And like I said, I'll probably paint these maybe black to keep them from showing that surface rust. It's just kind of an eyesore. It's just surface rust. I considered the other bumper that goes up around here, like the Foreman bumper, just for a little bit added protection for the lights and stuff. But it's not a big priority. I mean, I'm pretty content with that stock for the most part. The tires got plenty of good tread. It's just the sidewall. It's a straight axle, so rolling over is not a big issue. Shifting it, driving up and down through here, trying to shift it, definitely the shifter is very tight right now. But I just rode it a couple times up down the back alley. I need to actually get it out somewhere and ride it like that 15 miles or 20 miles or whatever, 30 miles. It'll probably loosen up. I think that's the common process with that. Ball hitch. Don't really need a ball hitch. I might put me like a shackle thing for towing or something. I don't plan to pull on a trailer anytime soon. Yeah, just stuff for that covers and stuff for winter riding. A winch. I don't know about like a LED. And I also thought about, I don't know yet, I have to really look into it to not overwork the stator and hook too much up, but installing a 12 volt here. You just drill that out and put it in. It's not a real big deal. But yeah, it's not much different, but that's, you know what you're getting. It's a pretty solid machine. People say, they're not built like they used to. Well, they don't build them the same way. This is liquid cooled. That's air cooled. This one has a kickstart. This one don't even have a recoil start. So keeping a battery jumper, battery tender has one. It's little. You can keep it back there. Make sure you keep it charged. You take it with you, should be fine. I don't think you're having any electrical issues with it starting. The only thing I'm aware of with these machines, the Honda Ranchers, overall, all the models, the electric shifts, even since like the first 350s and 450s that had the electric shift, you'd always have to kind of rock it for it to fall into gear, and that seems to still be the issue. Once you get a lot of miles on them, the electric shift motor, you may need to replace it, but it's not hard to replace. It's not a big deal. If there's any other issues I'm not aware of, you're welcome to make a comment or say anything. But on the market, there's just not a whole lot that's on par with this. The Can-Ams might have more horsepower, but I don't know about after a few years, where they cut corners, where Can-Am cut corners, you'll start seeing that. But that's just the way it is. But so I hope this video was entertaining. The 2025s, they come out with some different color schemes, but Yamaha and Kawasaki and them, they kind of all do the same. They just change the colors. But you know what? They know what they're doing. They've been building solid machines for years and years. And that's my take on it. I like them stock for the most part. Just, like where it gets real cold, heated grips and stuff. Maybe different tires. But it's another thing. If you want it to last longer, you adding bigger tires on it and stuff. It's doubling the weight on the hubs, and it might turn them and everything like that. But over time, you're going to see the wear and tear. If you're looking at it lasting, protecting your investment, and stuff like that. So that'll conclude it for this episode of On the Ground, and hope to see you next time.